Hello and welcome to the British Chamber of Commerce Singapore's podcast channel. We're thrilled to present in-depth discussions on business, global affairs and news across Singapore, ASEAN and the United Kingdom. Thank you for your continued support and we hope you enjoy this episode. Hello and welcome back to the British Chamber of Commerce Singapore's podcast channel. My name's David Kelly and I'm the Executive Director here at the Chamber. And I have the privilege and pleasure, as you know, of meeting some of the most inspiring people in our network, and today is no exception. I've got the absolutely amazing Imane Jamal Eddine, the General Manager for Digital Natives and Startups Pursuit here at Microsoft Asia. Lots of topics around AI, lots of topics around market expansion. Let's get straight into it. Welcome to the British Chamber of Commerce. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Really excited.
So we've been trying to get you for so long, and I'm so pleased we've been able to get some time in your diary. Thank you so much for coming down. But last year you were Chief of Staff here, and you've moved into a different role. Can you just talk to our listeners a little bit about your career here in Singapore and with Microsoft and the role that you currently do?
Amazing. And, really excited. I would have loved to be here last year and I couldn't. And I'm really happy to be here today. So let's say that I spent 25 years in Asia. I left Morocco at 18 years old and I went to Japan to study engineering in Japanese language. And that was amazing. I was telling your producer here that at some point in time I would love to write a book about it, but that's not the topic of the podcast today. And 15 years ago, my family and I decided to come to Singapore as, a nice blend of Asia and Western innovation, meritocracy. Is just an incredible place to be. We were planning to stay here for 2 years, 15 years on, and this is home. So I love Singapore so much. Now, Microsoft journey for me started 5 years ago. I'm a COVID employee. I joined Microsoft right in the smack of lockdown, at home with a PC, looking at a screen. And I had 50 plus people that I needed to meet, all virtual. So we can talk about COVID as well, but that COVID experience with joining Microsoft at that time was really part of the growth mindset, really challenging myself in a new position while at home. And the journey has been incredible. 5 years on, this is my third role in Microsoft. It's really amazing to see how they value talent and they help you grow, and employees for them are the best asset that they have and they consider. So after doing 1.5 years in customer success with my architects and my customer success managers, the president of Asia called me and out of the blue, and he said, "Do you want to work for me?" So I said yes. I didn't know what role or in what position. I'm someone who, if an opportunity comes to you, say yes and then figure out how. So I said yes, and then it landed as chief of staff for him, and that has been incredible. The chief of staff of presidents of Asia, Pacific, and Japan. You look after strategy, you look after operations, you look after culture, you look after executive communications, and basically you get stuff done. So it's the chief GSD officer. That's how I see myself. And 2.5 years into the role, I saw the pivot of AI. I saw Gen AI come in. I saw the waves of AI, and I just wanted to be near the edge of innovation, meeting the innovators, meeting the entrepreneurs. And I spoke to my boss. I said, I want to talk to digital natives. I want to work with digital natives. And here I am.
Fantastic. So what's the division that you work in? Because it's slightly separate to the Microsoft piece, isn't it? It's you build and cultivate leaders. Can you just tell us a little bit more about the department itself?
The department is a brand new department created July 1. So it's less than a year. It's literally a baby department in Microsoft Asia. And rightfully so, because we are focused on enterprise. And we work very closely with our enterprise ecosystem and our partners and communities. And we're really proud and happy with that. And we wanted to extend that into startups and digital natives. And in order to do that, we wanted to give them a space where they engage with us, where we support them in their go-to-market, we support them in their geo-expansion, we support them in their scaling, and in the same time, we also provide them the technical expertise, the AI know-how, bring them to our office and talk to them. So we've been doing this for a year now. My remit is ASEAN, Japan, Korea, and INZ. So that's what we call as digital native growth market, because the growth is there, the massive opportunity is there. And, never a dull moment. Every day is with incredible entrepreneurs, amazing leaders. And every time I meet a digital native or a startup, I will ask the founder, why are you doing it? Tell me about your why. And every founder has a why, because it's really hard to be a founder. It's really hard to set up a company and go and continue and drive and be resilient. But they have that why, and that's what gets them going. And, as Microsoft, we really want to support their why, because that's our mission as well, is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. For me, on the planet, I would change it to in the digital native space and the startup space and the entrepreneurs. And recently, what I'm also particularly keen and really focused on is female entrepreneurs. So I love all my entrepreneurs. I love all my founders and the CEOs I meet with. I am particularly fond on the why of female entrepreneurs, because they are rare breed. There are not so many. And I always make sure that they get the spotlight and they get the support from Microsoft.
That's incredible. And here's one of the best places to do it in the world, really, in Singapore.
Amen.
The startup scene is super amazing. There's amazing networks.
Yes.
You just signed an MOU with Block 71, which is an absolute hive of innovation and tech development. Can you just tell us a little bit more about what you were doing with Block 71?
It's just incredible. I've been in their office so many times, I can't count. And it's a place of innovation. It's a place that fosters the digital natives and startups here in Singapore, but also ASEAN. They are welcoming, startups from all over ASEAN and all over Asia. And it came from a conversation where Block 71 and us sat together and said, okay, we have this new department, digital natives, and we have this mission and want to engage with the startups here. And they had similar mission. They want to incubate and accelerate startups coming from NUS, but also from the whole Singapore and Asia. And because the Gen AI and what Microsoft is doing in AI, the conversation was, what if we bring 30 mentors from Microsoft with different expertise, the AI architects, the engineers, the business leaders, the go-to-market leaders. What we bring this top notch of Microsoft mentors, and we bring Block 71's expertise, and we create a program, 10-week program that's called AI Accelerate. And we launched that. We had an MOU 17th of February, exactly. And the response was mind-blowing. We were not expecting hundreds and hundreds of applications from startups. Believe me, just to go from hundreds to the top-notch 25 shortlisted startup was a journey.
I bet that was difficult.
Was a journey. We finalized the startups literally last week. We spent 2 days, Thursday and Friday last week, listening to 40 pitches. So we went from hundreds to 40, and then 40, the founders came and pitched to us. And from 40, we shortlisted to 25. And we kicked off the project, the program right now. It will go for 10 weeks. We have our mentors committed. We have Block 71 committed. And, every time, as I mentioned, the last few weeks, every day I hear few of those 25 startups. And the amount of innovation is amazing. And it's coming from the next generation. Like sometimes I joke with the founder, you could be my son. Like they are so young and so talented, so talented.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. And it's also really nice you're building a network because we talk about tech so much that actually you're building the relationship element of getting them to talk to other like-minded people as well and helping them on their journey, which is super amazing. Can we talk AI? I think you were recently on an AI tour with the CEO of Microsoft. Can you just tell us a little bit about that tour, what you picked up, what's going on, what's in your mind at the moment around all things AI? Because it's such a word that we're always using, and we think you're using a lot of it, but what's really happening in AI?
Oh my God. I'm a big fan of Satya, like a huge fan. I always say that Satya is probably the reason I joined Microsoft. He is such a humble, beautiful human being. It's really incredible. And as the chief of staff of Microsoft Asia for 2 years and a half, I had the privilege to basically lead the exec visits of Satya across the 2 years. So I had the privilege of leading 8 executive visits in 8 cities for Satya. So it's a badge of honor to do that. And recently, in my current capacity, I facilitated a roundtable between Satya and 6 digital natives in Japan. So all the CEOs came and we had a fantastic conversation between Satya and the founders, top, bright, talented founders in Japan digital native ecosystem. And he has such a great view of how AI will revolutionize the workforce. Well, it's not only about being an AI as your assistant, but AI will take on more roles on decision making, on tasks, on feedback loop. And we call them agentic AI or agents. And we see that the multi-agent layer will come and support, especially when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to education, when it comes to aging populations that, for instance, Japan is struggling with. And he calls them digital colleagues. And I found that so beautiful. It was the first time that I heard the word digital colleagues. We always talk about agents. Like agents will help you in the workplace. Agents will create docs for you. Agents will, draft my LinkedIn post for me. And Copilot now is my next best companion. Everything is with Copilot. It's mind-blowing. I just go to Copilot, ask something, and it just helps me the way I need to. But now they're called digital colleagues. So imagine you and me sitting as colleagues, let's say, and we have a third colleague who's a digital colleague. And then what's the role of this digital colleague? What's the scope of digital colleague? Who's organizing the digital colleagues in that multi-agent space? Who's the super agent? Who's the human in the loop who will decide? Who's owning? What's the ownership and accountability of the digital colleagues organization? Because at the end of the day, they will make the decisions or they will go and do the task that you defined for them. Who's accountable for them? At the end of the day, it's the supervisor, it's the human in the loop. So you need smarter, skilled workers and humans to engage with the digital colleagues. And I thought that was a fascinating conversation that he had, especially that, with the aging population, with the healthcare, with the education, digital tutors, digital colleagues will be everywhere.
Do you think we'll be appraising AI if we're working with them as digital colleagues?
I think that's a great question, and I think we would, because you're appraising the AI colleagues or you're appraising the digital colleagues to have that loop, that feedback loop, and feedback loop to the supervisor who's basically creating or managing those digital colleagues, and then give them feedback. And the more feedback you give them, the smarter they get, the better they know. It was interesting. It was something on social media recently that people are asking, do I need to be polite with my Copilot or my AI agent or not? Right? I am polite too. Like I am by principle polite with everybody. I will say thank you and welcome and please draft me something. Like the interesting thing is that your co-pilot or your digital colleague will learn your tone and understand how you speak and how you engage. So if you are polite and you will say, draft me an email, he would know David is polite, so my email will need to be polite. If I am like brash or whatever, then he will draft and it will draft an email that's within my tone. So it's really interesting. Yes, it may not be relevant or to say thank you and please, but the digital colleague will understand your tone and your upbringing and reflect that when you ask them for a task.
It's quite incredible, isn't it, that you can almost self-create your own digital twin and build a twin of yours that fits your gaps that you might not necessarily be stronger with. So you build the centaur of a dream, really, don't you?
I mean, honestly, because us as humans, and I say that to my mentees as well, we have superpowers. Every one of us has a superpower, whether you're a linguist or whether you're analytical skills or whether you're a great communicator, you have superpowers and you have blind spots. Yeah, and one of the leadership coaching that we always ask ourselves when we have colleagues or we have teams that we want to grow, do we target their superpowers and grow their superpowers, or do we look into their gaps and grow their gaps? Even if you grow my gap, I'm still gonna find it hard to do it. Yes. What if I get that gap and give it to a digital colleague and just focus on what I do best? And I will be super happy doing what I do best because that's my superpower, that's my comfort. And then if I don't want to do my expenses or do my admin, because I'm terrible at that, what if my digital colleagues will do it for me? I'll say thank you every time. No. So that's how you see the way of thinking. Like that's why the skilled workers and looking into what you're great at and then double down on that and get your digital colleague or your AI agent to take care of your gaps.
Is it easy for small businesses to sort of accept this mindset and try and build it into their operations? Because we've got companies like Shopify, for example, that at baseline level need to be engaging with AI at all levels of the organization. That's quite a step. How are you, Microsoft, helping those that are already trading at the moment to think about AI?
No, I think AI essentially will democratize the skilled workforce, will democratize knowledge, will democratize insights. So it's not, I don't think that it is only for the larger organizations. I think every organization will benefit from engaging with AI. And then we have gone from the wave where everyone will just double with AI, and I call it science experiments. We graduated from science experiment. I think the science experiments on AI was 2022, 2023. Now, every business, whether it's, small businesses, startups, digital natives, large businesses, now looking into how you leverage AI to solve real problems, how you leverage AI to tackle the gap of a business need that you have, or improve the productivity of your team, or increase their insight and talent and analytical skills. So wherever you are in the company journey, their AI has a place to be. I think shifting the mindset from dabbling with AI and playing with AI into AI is here to stay. It's an amazing place. It's going to just grow. The ROI has been proven. How can we solve problems with AI? And we're here to help. Like we speak to digital natives. We speak to large organizations across the globe. We are here to sit with the customer and say, we want to solve your real problems. It's not we're the science experiment of putting something and just looking fancy and looking nice into what are the real problems that needs to be solved.
Great advice. Just start testing it. Really get it in your business now. It's here to stay. If we gave you a crystal ball, where do you think this is going in the next 3 years? What have you seen where you've gone, wow, that's exciting, or wow, that's really scary, or wow, that's awesome? Where do you think that this is going to go?
I think we will see more and more of AI solving real problems. What I would love to have in my crystal ball is getting AI to support the people who don't have access to education, or having teachers who have 40 kids, 50 kids in a classroom somewhere in the world struggling to support every kid. What if we provide every kid an AI assistant or an AI tutor? What if we provide the teacher an AI assistant that support them? So for me, AI solving real humanity problems is where I would love AI to go. Healthcare, the same thing. There are, we still have populations who struggle to have access to healthcare. What if they have an AI doctor talking to them first, even if it's in the remote areas of the Atlas Mountains, and then if it requires additional help, them getting human in the loop, but bringing access to things that we take for granted and are the basic human rights of people, and we think of them as granted, but we are what 7 billions in population, and getting AI to support that is what I would love to see.
Amazing. Removing the walled garden of knowledge and information that's out there using AI.
Yes, just democratize it. You need a medical help. You have an AI agent that supports you. You need you are such an incredible kid, hungry for knowledge, hungry for learning. You have an AI tutor bringing you to the next level. How beautiful is that?
Absolutely amazing. Can we talk about geography? Because you talked about your remit, and it sounds like it's about a third of the world. It's quite a big geography, but we live in one of the most exciting spaces in the world, fastest growing income market in the world. Indonesia's on our doorstep, Malaysia's on our doorstep, Vietnam, we talked about Japan as well.
Yes.
Are you seeing different types of tech come from different countries? And what's your plan around the size of the geography that you've got to look after?
It's such a great question, David. And, few decade ago or so, we had this made in Asia. A lot of things are made in Asia. We are, with the AI and with the innovation that we see right now, we're shifting to born in Asia. The innovation is here. The great, the massive talent on data science, AI, knowledge workers, skill workers, solving real problems are here in Asia. So one of the slogans that we say in Microsoft is born in Asia. This is the Asian century. It's an incredible place to be. We've seen Singapore, and we've spoken about Singapore, the massive innovation that we have here. The ecosystem is just empowering everyone to innovate and grow and scale. And then you see Indonesia as well, where the digital native and the startup ecosystem is booming. It's booming. Next month, I'm going to Indonesia. We've seen massive innovation there as well. Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines. Everywhere I go, I see startups that are solving real problems. It's not about, again, looking into nice to have solutions. Those are real problems, real solutions that these startups brought the innovation, brought the AI, and are solving it, and coming to Microsoft and say, how can we scale? How can we bring our solutions beyond? I have startups in Asia who are keen to go to Latin America. Startups who are keen to go to Europe. Some are asking about Africa. So you see the talent, you see the innovation, and you also see the growth mindset of them taking risk and going outside. And it's just, this is the Asian century. I'm born and bred in Morocco, came here 25 years ago. My mom asked me all the time, when are you going back? I'm like, I love this place.
Can we go back to you a little bit and talk about your engineering start? Is that where it's all led you to? Is it your mind of fixing things that sort of brought you to this stage, and why engineering to begin with?
Yes, I mean, I love solving problems. I was a nerd and a geek for the longest time. My whole education was that. I loved math. Like, math is something that I loved so much. And, they just give you a problem and the adrenaline that you get and dopamine that you get when you solve it is just mind blowing. So I was a math geek I am still, and that brought me to engineering, because math for math was boring, but math for solving problem was exciting. And when at 18, you have this few opportunities. You have your Moroccans, the next path is France. Maybe if you're a little bit more adventurous, you go to the UK. And then I had the opportunity to go to Japan. And I was like, at that time there was a blue ocean strategy. So I was like, I'm going to go where not many Moroccans go. So I decided to and because Japan is all about engineering and all about solving problems and all about Kaizen, it just fits what I wanted to do. So so I left Morocco at 18, started my university in Japan, and never looked back.
And have you had leaders in your journey that have really shaped your leadership style today? Have there been people that have sort of really helped you to expand your wings and think differently, or people that have given you advice that you've always taken hold of and thought this has been really useful?
It's great to have amazing leaders all around. So I do look for leaders wherever I go. I think it's really important. There are so many leaders who took a chance on me, if that makes sense. The first one was an incredible leader, a Japanese male, actually, who I started working with him at 25, fresh from school. At 27, he gave me my first leadership job. So every time I say, yes, I may have 18 years of experience and I have 16 years of leadership, because he literally just said, Imane-san, lead the team. I trust you. You go. So that's looking into talent and appreciating talent and giving the talent the chance and taking chance on talent is something that I learned very early in my career. And that's what drives me all the time. Is while people would say, why are you taking this person? They've never managed a team. Like, no, I'm going to give him a chance. What's worse can happen? A year or two, either he grows or he learns or both. But I'm keen to give a chance to people. That was always my motto. And Fukushima-san, until now, we're still connected 20 years later, and he's one of the best leaders I've worked with. But I have so many. Like in Microsoft, it's a place where talent grows. 5 years, 3 jobs, a lot of mentoring, a lot of coaching, a lot of sponsorship. I'm really, really grateful about it.
And you're now in a role where you're doing that for the digital natives and all the startups that are coming through.
Giving back and paying forward, David.
Absolutely amazing. There's one question we ask everybody on our channel, which is, with all of the things that we talked about today, all the knowledge that's in your mind, your amazing background, if we could give you the British Chamber of Commerce time machine and you could go to a younger self and tell yourself some advice, when would you go back and what would you tell yourself?
I think I would go back to my teenage years, being a math geek and math nerd, and not knowing whether I would make it. It's just question mark. You are in underdeveloped country, doing what you want to do or trying to do what you want to do. And at that time, one of my dreams was to become an astronaut in NASA. That was what I wanted to do. And then conversations with my parents and everything else were like, instead of doing that, maybe you pivot to engineering. I think I would go back to that little girl and say, if you wanted to go to NASA, you would have gone to NASA. So it's, everything is possible as long as you put your mind on it. And that's what I tell my mentees is, if you put something on your mind, you will do it. And, maybe I would pivot to NASA at some point in time, but that was a dream, that I had when I was young.
That's an awesome response. That's absolutely brilliant. Imane Jamal Eddine, thank you so much. You've also been super kind to me, because we're usually on the other side of this is a podcast, so you've been super kind to me as a host.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being such an awesome guest, and cannot wait to see how the startups are developed through Microsoft and the progress that you've got. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the British Chamber of Commerce Singapore's podcast channel. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a rating and review on Spotify, Apple, Google, and other podcast platforms. If you enjoyed this episode, please spread the word by sharing it across your network. For more information about the Chamber and what we do, visit our website at www.britcham.org.sg and tune in next time for a brand new episode.